Hey everybody, this is Dr. Seth again from Great Works Chiropractic. I'm here to try to give you a little bit of information to hopefully make your life a little bit better. I know that I'm just one little chiropractor and functional neurologist here in South Berwick, Maine. I can only get my hands on so many people, but one thing that I want to pass on to you that I think is going to serve you really well. It's something to do with intermittent low back pain. Right? The key to this is so many people come to me, they can't walk, it hurts so bad they can't sleep, they've missed a few days of work before they finally broke down and sought help. Because doc, it always went away before. It always went away. Was it different? How come? What made you think that it actually went away? Oh no, always the same place, always right here on the left. You've probably experienced this yourself if you're watching this video. Always in the same place, always feels the same. But it always, it always goes away in 2, 3, 4 days, and then it always comes back. Once a year, when you sleep wrong, lift something wrong, move wrong, think wrong, I don't know, maybe get into a disagreement with your brother's sister's wife, whatever. The point is, some kind of stress brings it back on, and it seems like it's not a big deal because it always goes away. I'm here to let you know that that's likely untrue, that the symptoms go away, but there's most likely a process of ongoing, increasing damage going on inside your body, that if you have relapsing and remitting low back pain, instead of waiting for the big one, for the big explosion, for the Mount Vesuvius, for the earthquake that sinks California right off into the Pacific Ocean, for the thing that puts you out of work and destroys the quality of your life for a long, long time, instead of just 3 days or 4 days or what have you. You may want to seek help now. Get someone to help support you now, and here's why, okay? So this is a model of your spine. Particularly, these are lumbar bones. This is where people typically get a lot of disc problems, right here in the lower spine. Now, as you can see, the bones move together like this, okay? They rotate, they bend, they move. I know it's a cheap little model, but what do you expect? It's YouTube, right? It's designed to move. But the thing about our body is it's a well-oiled, well-calibrated, perfectly designed machine that's supposed to work correctly. So everything stays the way that it's supposed to as long as it's moving and working correctly. If it's not, though, if you see that red in there, if it's not moving correctly, then you can start to get some damage, okay? Well, what is this disc anyway, right? Can't you just slip one willy-nilly? Can't you just cough wrong and slip a disc? The truth is no. The discs in between the bones of your spine, and so I've drawn it out here, okay? There are a couple of layers to this. So on the outside, better get my black. On the outside, there's this protective layer, okay? This is known as the annulus fibrosus. It's as strong as Kevlar. Back when they only had lap belts for cars, this would stay intact when people got into car accidents, and bones would fracture straight across like that, called the chance fracture. So that covering to the disc that's anchored to the bones above and below is stronger than bone. It's strong as Kevlar, okay, as long as there's nothing wrong with it. Inside, however, is where you have this soft, jelly-like or toothpaste-like interior known as the nucleus pulposus, right? So it's the pulpy nucleus. It's goopy, it's jelly-like. It's if you squished it like that, it would just go out from the edges. So you've got to have that annulus fibrosus out there. Now, annulus means ring, fibrosus means fibrous, right? So when I was trying to think of an example for this, I was thinking fiber. What better to represent fiber than a cloth, right? And what is cloth made of but cross-woven fibers, okay? So let's draw this out here. So let's say we have many layers, and we know the annulus fibrosus has 7 to 13 layers, right? But now all of that is cross-woven in this perfect, this perfect matrix that's, each of the threads supporting the other. Everything is nice and strong and healthy, right? When you go bending and twisting, that can't tear, right? I suppose a stronger guy than I could rip this, but I'm not, so see, it doesn't go. Okay. So as long as that's fine, everything's fine, right? But if things don't move correctly, then it'll abrade. The improper movement will start to actually create weakness and little tears in these fibers, and eventually enough of them get torn, and what used to be a disc that was nice and tight and in line with the bones, eventually this gets so weak that the nucleus gets the opportunity, starts to squish, starts to expand, and we start to see weakening of its containment, and we start to see bulging. That bulging starts to get inflamed when it's irritated. More pain nerves than used to be there, which there used to be none in the disc, but when it becomes damaged, they grow in. When that happens, then it's very easy to irritate it. Your body can sense the weak point and that it's been stressed, and it creates pain. So you bend a little bit, you move a little bit wrong, and there's a little more tearing and a little more tearing, and your brain says, "Wow, that hurts. Hold on, there's damage inside," and you have that 3 or 4 day episode of pain, right? And then eventually this doesn't go away because the damage that happens there every single episode is permanent. What causes this is an imbalance in supporting muscles due to an imbalance in supporting neurology. If the muscles that support the spine aren't operating in a well-orchestrated, perfectly timed symphony of operation, then we start to get weakening, we start to get little tears. And so you bend and twist and you lift your neighbor's couch and, you're on the couch for 4 days, okay? But how many times can this happen? See, I can never put this back together again because I don't know how to sew. Same thing with your body. Those discs are not supposed to be damaged. They're supposed to be well supported and properly taken care of throughout your life, and they should look normal whether they're 18 or 81. Well, then one day you're helping your son move into his college dorm. You've been through 10, 20 episodes of this low back pain. Maybe it's been 2.5, 3 years since your last episode. You go to move that last big bag that he crammed everything in, and as I told you, I wasn't strong. It's the big one. This tear just goes full blown. The bulge comes way out. The inflammation is so strong that it doesn't just last 3 days. It doesn't just last a week. It starts to last 2 weeks, a month. Maybe it drives you in to the emergency room, where they give you muscle relaxers or what have you. But that doesn't fix this. This is now water under the bridge. Certainly, even when people walk into us in this state, which mostly they do, we can help recalibrate those supporting muscles, rebalance that controlling neurology, and help them make the most with what they got. But what I'm hoping is that this video reaches some people before they get to this, this doomsday scenario where they have the big one, where now nothing is the same, and hopefully they don't lose strength in the legs or have searing, burning sciatica shooting down the legs, and miss 2-3 weeks of work. The damage to your life can just be immeasurable. Anything that you do, from picking up a cup of coffee to shifting your car if you still drive a stick shift, or anything that you do, walking, puts stress right on those discs, right down there in the low back, right there at your core. So if you have a little bit of back pain that tends to bother you every now and then, please go get it checked out, because we can catch it when it's early, when maybe there's just a little tear or two, but not anything that's going to bring the whole thing crashing down. That's why we try to put a wellness message out there as chiropractors and functional neurologists. That's why we try to get people under care, before they need it, before they perceive that there's, that everything is just, everything is falling apart, and now they've hit rock bottom. We want to see you before you hit rock bottom, so that hopefully you don't ever hit rock bottom. So I hope that this message reaches receptive ears. I hope you understand that there's, you know, that pain that always comes back. What makes it hurt again is the fact that it just got a little worse, and the next time it just got a little worse, and the next time it happens, it just got a little worse. And so you can roll the dice hoping that you never get the big one, or you can understand that one day you most definitely will. And you know, and go get some, you know, go get some strengthening and preventive care now, rather than waiting until it's an absolute crisis and you don't know what to do. You know, because it's really hard to make the right decision for yourself in that instance. So anyway, guys, I know I kind of got all gloom and doom on you there, but anyway, you know, you got to see me rip some cloth. Wasn't that exciting? I couldn't put any explosions in the video because I think my lease agreement on my office prevents that. You know, so maybe I can get my assistant to edit one in. Right. I hope this helps. If you don't live anywhere near me, go seek the help of, you know, another local chiropractor or functional neurologist, or both, or a combination, you know, to figure out why you're getting that back pain that comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes, and fix its underlying cause before things hit this point. I hope I've served you well. I hope you found this really, really informative. If you did, please please subscribe. We're going to try to pump out more information like this to help you make your lives better, to live them to the fullest, to live to 100 in perfect health, just like I plan to do. All right, thanks guys. Over and out.